Hello. So welcome to this special cabinet meeting. Welcome to fellow cabinet members, councillors, members of the public. The meeting is being broadcast live on our YouTube channel, Council's YouTube channel. And as usual, full reports are available on our website. Both reports on today's agenda are included under APR 15 as a general exception because they were not listed on the full Mayor's forward plan 28 days prior to this meeting. And I can confirm that the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Management Board and members of the relevant scrutiny commissions have been notified about these items. Agenda item 9, delivery of cleaning security services, was originally scheduled to be considered on the 25th of February, but following a request from Human Resources Committee, Cabinet agreed to defer the decision to give the Overview and Scrutiny Management Board and Human Resources Committee more time to discuss the report. The report also contains an exempt appendix, which refers to information that is commercially sensitive. So on to agenda item 2. This is a reminder that statements and questions will be taken at the time the relevant agenda item is discussed, and members of the public and councillors who have given notice that they wish to speak will be invited to the meeting at that point, and I'll give a reply or ask the relevant cabinet member to respond. And a written response will be sent to those who have submitted questions. Also, public forum statements and questions have been published on our website as a supplement to the agenda papers. Agenda item 3, apologies for absence. So we have apologies from Nicola Beach and Anna Keane. I just check in. That's everyone, isn't it? Difficult time in the middle of the day, but so if we could just note those apologies. Agenda item 4, declarations of interest. Do any cabinet members have any interest to declare in relation to today's agenda? Okay, so let's move on to agenda item 5, scrutiny or full council. There are matters referred for consideration by scrutiny or full council. There are none on this occasion. Agenda item 6, reports from scrutiny commissions. So the comments of the Overview and Scrutiny Management Board in relation to the delivery of cleaning and security services have been attached to the report at Appendix C, along with the minutes of the Human Resources Committee. Agenda item 7, Chair's business, and this is for me to comment here. So I will just take the opportunity to thank Jackie Jensen, was our exec director for people, who is retiring and opening up a new chapter of life. Had a great chat with Jackie yesterday, just as he was, just pulling things together, just about what a great support she's been, not just to the organization, but to me personally over the years she was here. It's been we faced our challenges as an authority. Certainly faced our challenges as we worked hard to get the right leadership team in place, and we do have that now, and she has been part of that journey, and it's taken not just a willingness to do the job well, but a willingness to be part of a team and bring the spirit into the organization and values that we now have here, and I thank her for that, and wish her all the best for the new chapter. There are a few people on here that have worked with Jackie. Is there anyone else that would just like to take a couple of minutes to say something?
Yeah, I will, if that's okay, Marvin. I was lucky enough to see Jackie yesterday as well, which was fantastic. But one of the things I did want to share is that I sort of had my head around the door whilst she was on her final call with members of her leadership kid team, and some of the comments that I heard from them talked about exactly what you said, how she embodies the values of the organisation, and how she had shown real leadership, and she'd allowed others to come through and develop as leaders. And I think that's really important. And for me, personally, I've learned an awful lot from her as well, in terms of being emboldened, being unafraid to talk about the human outcomes for some of the things that we do in the council, and being unafraid to link them together as well. So I'll definitely take that with me, and I wish Jackie all the best for a really exciting future I think she's going to have.
Okay, thanks very much.
Marvin, on a personal note, I'd just like to say that whilst I've not worked much with Jackie. When I have worked with her, I found her nothing short of a delight. We've been very, very fortunate to have her and we'll miss her.
Great. Thank you all. Oh, Helen. Oh, and Asha.
Just very briefly, because we've been in lots of meetings now, mostly on Zoom, but we did see Jackie in person yesterday, which was fantastic. But I think you'd have to go a long way to find an officer who lived out the culture that both she espouses and we want to espouse in everything she does, both in the relationships with her senior leaders, as Helen said, but also with us as members. And I think that that's members across the piece, including opposition members and scrutiny. So, you know, it's just a huge thank you to Jackie from all of us.
Sure.
Yes, sorry, I just need to add my plaudits to what colleagues have said. I've had the pleasure of working with Jackie since stepping into this role and her taking on the responsibility of Exec Director for People Services. She is a formidable, an amazing woman. She puts, you know, the service, her staff and the people that we serve are always first and foremost in her mind. And you're absolutely right, Helen, when you say that in terms of she espouses not only such great values herself, but the values that we hold dear as an administration, and she is a testament to that. And we are going to miss her. So yeah, I wish her well in her new endeavours, but it's been a pleasure.
Thank you all, and all the best, Jackie. Okay. So on to agenda item 8 now. The public health funding and budget for 21-22. And Asha, you're going to bring this report.
I am. So firstly, I do want to apologise for the report, this budget report coming late, and we mistakenly thought that we had to wait for the public health grant allocation in order to set our annual budget. But as we know, public health services are critical for preventing disease, and I don't have to explain how critical public health services have been during this last year. But as you know, there are certain functions that were transferred to local authority under the Health and Social Care Act of 2012. And since 2013, councils have been responsible for most aspects of delivering public health. And we have been in receipt of a ring-fence public health grant from the Department of Health and Social Care to meet those duties. So we're mandated to provide these services, and much of the public health grant, once we expended that funding, the remainder of that funding can be used flexibly for public health purposes. Any underspend of any grant that we have in any year can be carried forward, but that must be applied to the public health reserve and ring fence. This year, the public health grant was £33.1 million. But the overall public health budget was 38 million, including £4.9 million that we received from North Somerset and South Gloucestershire councils as their contribution towards jointly commissioned services. When this report was written, you will see that the grant allocation had yet to be announced, but by a miracle, yesterday, the announcement actually came. And so I'd like to announce that the government has now finally agreed their grant allocation to all local authorities, just as we've had a slight increase of £500,000 on our 2021 budget. So we have confirmed a grant of £33,642,711. So again, an increase of £500,738. We do have some additional burdens though. So we have that include the payment of PrEP to support our work in HIV services. We also have to absorb inflationary costs will need to be met from this increase. and any pay uplifts for nursing staff in the commission services that we pay for. We've also been asked to add some more reporting codes around test, track and trace and outbreak planning, and also any other public health spend that we have relating to COVID-19. There are also lines in the grant around additional domestic abuse and substance misuse funding, which, as you know, at the last cabinet meeting, last two subsequent meetings, we made an announcement of the funding that government had made available to that. So all in all, I'm really asking for cabinet to approve the overall budget of still around £38 million, notwithstanding the decision of DHS to provide an additional £500,000, but it's still within the funding envelope. Yeah, I present this to cabinet for approval. Thank you.
Thanks, Asha. We've had no public forum, no statements or questions from any councillors. Can I offer it to any cabinet members who might like to comment?
Yeah, I mean, I just suppose it's good to get this over the line, get it done, and it's good to hear that there's a bit of extra money this year. It's a bit of a shame that it's only £500,000 considering we're in the middle of a pandemic, but we are where we are. So thanks for bringing it, Asha.
Yeah. Well, I'll comment. I used to work in public health when I was in the National Health Service, and you just realise just how critical an intervention it is, but not just as an intervention, but as a goal. I was on a SIPFA session the other day on public finance, and they said the future is unaffordable unless we change the way we are today. Public health is in the business of making us well, before we get sick, before we need NHS services, so we can live better, longer, more well physically and mentally. And I think what COVID has also shown us is that the very things that public health looks at, that health is not just about health services, but it's about social policy, housing, are the things that will build us more resilience in the future as well. It's a critical area for us, and I'm really pleased that we've managed to elevate the profile and leadership of of public health within the organisation, and I would also say within the city as well. And certainly, but that's also been asked of the city through our COVID leadership. And I will say today on this again, I'm really disappointed there are no comments. There's no political comments from other councillors on this item. What is the economy for? What is housing for? What is job creation for? Supporting families, community development, tackling poverty, if it's not for population health? And for an item like this to come through without even a comment, on an encouragement, a challenge, when we know about the pending crisis of mental health coming our way through as a consequence of lockdown, to have no political comment on this, I think just is, again, as I've been sharing at last few cabinets, the low level of participation in our cabinet meetings is a shame on the chamber. But let me hand back to you now, Asha, to take the decision which I support and which will now be displayed on the screen.
Okay. Thanks. But before I actually take the decision, I really do want to take this opportunity to also express my thanks to all of the staff within Bristol City Council for the amazing work that they have done during this last year in navigating the pandemic, led exceptionally well by both our Chief Exec, Mike Jackson, and of course our brilliant Director of Public Health, Christina Gray, and the Public Health team. They have been phenomenal. So I just want to personally thank you all. And in terms of the decision to be made today, I approve the recommendation as set out in this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Asha. So let's move on to agenda item 9, delivery of cleaning and security services. So this item does contain an exempt appendix. Cabinet members are reminded to indicate if they wish to discuss any information in exempt session, in which case we'll move into exempt session. But Craig, you'll bring this report, so can I hand over to you, please?
Thanks, Marvin. This integrated service will be established as an operation within the Specialist Workplace and Facilities Management Service division of our Technical enterprise at the 100% council-owned Bristol Waste Company. This arrangement enables the council to retain strategic oversight of the operation whilst day-to-day management passes on to Bristol Waste. It also ensures that there is effective governance of any service provision from here in the continued spirit of collaboration and partnership that has characterised the proposal's development. There have been high levels of scrutiny throughout the proposal's journey, which will also continue through effective contract management. And I would like to thank my colleagues on HR Committee and Overview and Scrutiny Management Board for their valued input into the process, all of which is included in the report. The business case for this transfer is compelling, both saving expenditure, about 2 million in 4 years and a recurring £900,000 a year from year 5 within Bristol City Council, and ensuring the services can grow and expand. This proposal will also allow for growth with several opportunities in this sector already identified, bringing us in more income, which in the current financial climate will help us to deliver vital services to those who need them in the city. It also has clear strategic corporate alignment as outlined, and it offers an opportunity to deliver more through a council-owned company and utilise their expertise to deliver best results for the City of Bristol. We understand some of the concerns from staff in relation to job security and their contractual terms and conditions, and we believe these will be addressed in the agreement. The continued partnership working of the respective teams will enable us to ensure that generous protections are in place for staff, and this will be defined in the contractual agreement. The proposal details many benefits for transferring staff through more supervision, investment in training and development, provision of new equipment, and increase in headcount in service delivery teams. Staff are protected by 2P, and we've also created additional protections for staff that are defined in the contract. For example, no future redundancies and complete protection of contracted terms and conditions for the duration of the service agreement. To date, Bristol Waste Management of the People has also been of the highest standards, including detailed consultations. All members of staff will be subject to full 2P legislation, ensuring standards of their pay, terms and conditions. However, on top of this, they will be guaranteed the pension continuation as they will remain in the Avon Pension Fund and will have additional rights that are over above the usual legislative protections. This will include the right to return to Bristol City Council enshrined in their terms and conditions should Bristol Waste ever cease to be operational or if a future administration closes the company. They also have a robust and active policy that fully supports equality and diversity for the people of Bristol and its service teams. All in all, it's a compelling case. We hear the concerns raised, but are confident these are being met and that ultimately we are delivering the best outcomes for the city and people of Bristol. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. So public forum statements and questions. We've received 3 public forum statements. One from Councillor Richard Eddy, one on behalf of Unison and one from the GMB. So I'm going to invite Tom Merchant from Unison into the meeting to make a statement.
Right, sorry, I'm having technical problems. Right, thank you very much. Yes, you've read our statement. The end is missing, so it looks like I've got no command of the English language. It was taken out by legal services. But the basis of what we're saying is this is about commitment for our staff. You are maintaining the position that nothing will change. We're maintaining the position that a lot of things that they highly value will change. So we're asking you, please, not to go ahead with this. We think it'd be damaging. Obviously, this is a decision only you guys can make. So yeah, I'll leave it. You've seen the statement, so I'll just leave it with that. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks very much, Tom. We don't think we have any other statements to be made. No one on us. Okay, Tom. I mean, we have worked through these terms and conditions and the guarantees if the company goes anywhere that people come back. So there's a real hard and fast safety net. But do any other cabinet members have any comments on this item? Craig, I'm sorry, Kai.
Yeah, I just thought I'd come in on obviously some of the issues that have been raised around this. Obviously, I think most people know I've been a union official for a good 15 or 14 years in Royal Mail, and just wanted to consider some of the issues that have been raised, especially around outsourcing. Now, my experience in Royal Mail was that as a group, it's got companies underneath. So it's got Royal Mail Limited, it's got Parcel Force, and it's got Royal Mail Property and Facility Management Services. So I think if a type of task or a duty transferred from one company to another, it certainly wouldn't be considered outsourcing by the CWU. Quite clearly, there would have to be an agreement negotiated over that transfer. So I don't think this is outsourcing at all. And then the other sort of point that's been raised is that this is privatisation. Now, quite clearly, if we sort of contracted this work out to a private company outside of the council, then quite clearly that would be privatisation. And I know what privatisation is because I work for Royal Mail, and it's a company that's been privatised. So I don't think it's privatisation. What I would say, though, is that from a trade union point of view, the staff that are being transferred are going into the strongest section of the union in the council, the waste company. I think the membership is double what it is in the rest of the council. You've got union officials within the waste company that actually negotiate the pay of the company. And when I had the waste portfolio, they managed to negotiate a better deal than what the rest of the council got in terms of pay. And the reps in the waste company are much more closer to the daily operational issues. So they have a role in a wider range of tasks in terms of how the companies run, how people work, the duties, etc. So from a trade union point of view, as a member, I'd be happy to go into Bristol Waste Company because it's a much stronger collective trade union organisation. So I think over a much longer term period, I could see the pay terms and conditions getting better for these workers than if they were if they remained in the council. So I don't really see what the issue is with it, really.
Thank you, Kai. Any others before I come back to Craig? Steve and Afsar.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Kai's actually covered most of what I'd intended saying, but what I do want to note is that the new opportunities for career progression of these members of staff should be greatly enhanced now, and I think it should be a very exciting opportunity for them, and it's an exciting opportunity for the council to extend its influence throughout the city.
Thanks, Steve. Afsar?
Thank you, Marvin. Craig, thank you so much for those reassurances relating to the Avon pension fund, and also the fact that in the eventuality that if in the future that Bristol Waste were to cease, that these employees could actually return to Bristol City Council, and also for the assurances given around their pay as well. These are extremely important reassurances, and just to pick up on Kai's point around union membership, I hope this is something that the employees do understand, that there is actually a lot of opportunity in this long term. Thank you.
Thank you, Afsar. Okay, well, let me hand back to Craig now to take the decision, which I support, and which will be displayed on the screen.
Yeah, thanks, Marvin, and thanks everyone for their comments. In particular, Kai, thanks for that. I mean, all the things you mentioned were definitely in our thinking as we ran through this. So thanks for just bringing those out. In making this decision, I've taken into consideration the equalities impact assessment in the report. In terms of the decisions to be made today, I approve the recommendations as set out in the report.
Thank you very much, Craig. So that's the end of today's Cabinet meeting. The date of the next Cabinet meeting is Tuesday, 13th of April at 4 p.m. So I will see you all there. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.